John Keabler, welcome to the show.
Dylan, how are you, sir? Thank you for having me.
You're finally here. We've been talking about this for months.
Man, I've aged so much since the first time we talked about this. Grew a beard. I was just waiting for you.
Yeah, I know. See, and now
I was like, I'm not going to shave until Dylan gets me on this podcast.
And now here we are. It's eloquent, by the way.
It's great, too.
It is. It looks good. So, Keabler.
Yes.
Not like the cookies.
Not like the cookies. Pronounced, but not spelled the same.
Not spelled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I got that confused one time.
Yeah.
I remember.
You did.
So just tell me a little bit about yourself now. What do you do?
I am basically an actor and a stay-at-home dad. Mm-hmm. I'm currently with the Utah Shakespeare Festival and their season, which is behind us, and over here and all around us. Here on SUU campus. Mm-hmm. This is the 65th season, and we're doing the Shakespeare we're doing this year is Hamlet. I think most people have heard of that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Troilus and Cressida, which not a lot of people have heard of or know very much about, and Twelfth Night. And I am in all three of those productions. Well, I'm understudying in Twelfth Night and having shows and roles in the other two. They have other shows, musicals and other things, but I'm just in the classical stage because that's kind of what I was trained in. I went to the Old Globe, which is in San Diego. Very good training program, probably top 5 in the country, that deals with learning how to do classical text. Because that is the history of theater. Everything pretty much comes from Shakespeare, and Shakespeare learned everything he did from the Greeks, but Shakespeare changed everything, and the saying goes, if you can do classical text, you can do anything else. So I wanted to get a basis in that, in the classical speech.
Because that's like the origins, right?
It's the origins, and it's the way, so everything today is influenced by Shakespeare, almost everything. Stories, structure, arguments. So if you can learn how Shakespeare was kind of doing it and do that well, it makes sense that you can do these other things as well too. And classical theater has always been, it's hard because you have all these words, it's poetry, but it's also physical. You're thinking your thoughts while you're saying the words. You have to make that seem like you don't know what you're saying, but make it come alive. And you have to convey that to an audience to help them understand what is happening, because Shakespeare time plays were not read, they were performed. And so even though the language that he uses is still modern English, it was a very early modern English.
I see.
It's not Old English. Old English would be like Chaucer.
Chaucer.
Yes, which was very hard to understand, very archaic. But Shakespeare is in modern English, so it is very understandable. His arguments, though, can start here, and he'd have a bunch of other language, and then he'd end up with his argument down here. So you have to, like, through your pitch and indentation and your, should we pause?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's a natural part of the process. It's 10:30, that's why.
It must be 10:30. We do that every half an hour.
Yeah.
So with your pitch and your speed and your vocal variance, you have to kind of keep the audience ear in the energy of your speech in order for them to understand it. So that's, if you can do that with Shakespeare, it really helps with everything else.
It's so okay. That's why classical is so important, and so Shakespeare.
And listening, because people have long speeches, right? So good acting is always about listening to what your partner is saying.
Working off of them.
Working off of them, getting the information you need for the next part of whatever you're going to say. And so people speak, for minutes at a time in Shakespeare. So you have to stay active and you have to stay engaged. And therefore, when you get on set or you get on, something else, you already have that practice in your body. You can listen, and everything's going crazy on set. You got people everywhere with cameras, but if you're focused and you can listen, the camera really loves that as well. So
it's interesting. It's very similar to YouTube, but
I bet.
But the first version of it, right? Like theater is so old. So I'm curious, because in that world, you're doing so much at the same time, right? You memorize
sword fighting and
sword fighting too,
and trying to woo. It's all at the same time, and dying a lot of times. Like I die
multiple times,
twice this summer. Every show I die that I'm in, I show.
All right.
Yeah. So
you're versed in the act of dying.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So you have to make that believable.
Yeah.
So
interesting. You're right. There's so much. So like, there's words on this on the play, right? The script, if you will. And you read the words, then you gotta act. It's a whole process, I assume.
Yes.
When you're first preparing to play a character, what is your process for studying them or understanding them?
Wow, great question. It's kind of all over the place. I read a lot. So whenever I get cast for a character, the first thing I do is kind of read a lot about what people have said about the character in literature, kind of getting hints about this person's psychology. Of course, you read the play, you kind of mark all the things that you say about yourself and all the things that the other people say about you. And so kind of get insights into what this person's psychology is. I watch a lot of other people's, if you can. I love watching other people's performances
of the character,
because I'm like, oh, that is good. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
You know, I think there was at a time where like, be pure, don't watch anybody else's performance. But I mean, if you have, you know, if you have Philip Seymour Hoffman playing a part, you've got it. You got to watch him because he's done all the things that you're going to do. So you can steal stuff from them. And all the Shakespeare shows have been filmed, you know, by the RSC. So there's really good actors who have done them. The Royal Shakespeare Company.
Oh, Royal,
which is the kind of the extension of, you know, the Renaissance Shakespeare. Like it's not the Globe. The Globe is where Shakespeare
Globe
performed.
Theater.
Yes, the Globe Theater. He performed many other theaters, but that was the one that he had built. So the Royal Shakespeare Company is just an extension of that history. So they are, I would say, the premier Shakespeare theater in the world. Their productions they get all the film stars that are, you know, English, and they get all the, the really great actors, and they do these shows. So all of the history all the Shakespeare canon has been filmed in one way or another by them and other people. But so there's plenty of places to go and see really great performances. So I would get information about the character, and then once you have that, I kind of have to memorize the lines in order to get them into my body so I can start making decisions. Because the thoughts are so rapid sometimes in Shakespeare, or so long, that you kind of have to have them in your body. You can't hold the script on stage and be reading from your script and try to make any type of connection. So I try to get off book as soon as possible.
I see.
Because that's when the creativity starts to happen. That's when that's the rehearsal process from your first rehearsal until opening is where all the magic happens. That's why I do this. Yeah. The performance is great, but from opening until closing, the show kind of stays the same. There's not a lot of discoveries. But from first rehearsal till opening, that's where all the magic happens.
Okay.
So that is why we do this, to find things about the story, things about ourselves, things about how you're going to perform this role. And you're in a room with new people and all that energy, and it's intoxicating because it's literally like a master class into this one story. And that's the only way I've ever known how to learn to learn a story, is I have to kind of be submersed in it. You know, I read stuff on the side and watch videos and stuff, but like researching stuff on my own I can only get so far. I need people in a room, and I need to talk my ideas and hear somebody else's response like that. So that to me is why I continue to do this, is that, you know, it's like a master class into this one story, which is then a master class into the human condition and about how these people change and what makes a good human. And, you know, it's fascinating. And that eventually seeps into your own psychology and your own way of dealing with the world. I mean, you cannot work or read some of these stories, and novels, short stories, anything. If you really get into the story, they change you. You may not feel it, and you may not, you know, it's not a tangible thing. You can't touch it, but it is, you will see your interactions with the world they change. They just change. And it might take a long time, you know, to do those stories over and over again, but they change you. And I think that's why people watch stories and they watch movies and they listen to podcasts and they go to theater is because they are looking for some type of change in themselves as well. And that's why we do it. Stories are like, they're just expanded metaphors, I think.
Okay.
So our brain learns best through metaphors because we can pick up on them really quickly, and the brain goes, oh, I know what that is. I can put it away. I think stories, and especially theater, they're expanded metaphors that are complex and that are have many themes, but the brain is learning those metaphors in the story, and they learn how to be human through stories. I don't know how else you can, do it, other than just going out and being open to any person that comes around and speak to them, and you learn from them, and and those are in a way stories too, because you're learning someone's story. But yes, I think that's how we become human.
I like that.
That's right.
That's good. You mentioned something there that was really interesting to me. The human condition, obviously.
Yes.
But also the psychology of these people you play.
Yes.
When you're done playing the characters, do you notice something stays within you from the characters? Like you take a piece of them with you?
Yes. I mean, you do. And you have, I think most importantly, you have the memories of playing that part with this certain people in that certain place. Right. Which is another reason why I continue to be mostly a stage actor, because there's theaters all across this country, all across the world, and I really love going to a new place and exploring and being in that community, which is really cool. But so you take those memories with you, which always change you. Any experience like that, because your body, there's parts of your body that don't really know that you're going through a theatrical experience. I think the feelings, all the chemicals in your body, I think they don't know. Your brain knows, but I don't think there's parts of your body, I think, that go, oh, I've had that experience. Which, again, this is why we watch stories. And you can't go climb a mountain, but if you watch a mountain climbing movie, you feel like you're there.
There, yeah.
So yes, so the memories of the show, and also what the people in the stories do to the other people. Was it bad? Was it good? Was there redemption? Forgiveness? All those themes that we want as humans, we get to explore that in the story. And so the avenues for which these people do the thing that ask for redemption, or they do the bad thing that you get scorned for, and then you have to ask for forgiveness. Those methods and those avenues, they stay with you too. So when you go out in the world, you're like, oh, I know, I need to say I'm sorry here, because I remember that one time in the show, my character was mansplaining to this woman, and I need to be like, oh. So those lessons like that you can learn as well. So they stay with you. I think if your psychology is positive or optimistic, then the positive attributes will stay with you. And I think if you're more of a pessimist or a negative, or if you have some problems with the world itself and psychologically, if you play a character that's dark, those are probably going to stay with you a little bit more too. I think whatever character you're playing, whatever story you're in, you're going to take from it the things that you kind of attach in your normal life, right? Like I feel like I'm at least a realist to an optimist, and so when I leave a character, I've never felt like it stayed with me psychologically in a dark place. And I played some pretty bad dudes. Yeah. And what you try to do is you don't play the darkness to the point where it takes over you. You have to play it believably as someone who is kind of in the a darker person in the world. A lot of times doesn't seem like if someone walked up to you and he looked like a murderer and he was going to murder everybody, you'd be like, let's stay away from him. But bad people really don't act like that. They're usually kind of open and friendly, and Jeffrey Dahmer,
Ted Bundy, all of them.
So you don't really have to go to that dark place. The story, the given circumstances of a story kind of do a lot of work for you. I guess what I'm alluding to is like people who are really like, what do you call method? Like,
method acted,
Which is, it's good research to kind of go down and feel like that emotions, but if you go too far, I think if you're a negative person or you pick up on negativity really well, it can really send you in a dark side. Yeah. But so those things stay with you. But I think the most important thing is the memories of the show and the lessons you've learned in the show as those characters. Like why do this if you don't want to change? Like I want to change as a person after a show. I want to be somehow better. I want to have learned something. I want to have met new friends in this process, which all change you. And like I think that's why we do any experience.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's really why we do anything.
Right, like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right here.
Exactly.
We're both changing from this podcast.
We'll have memories for this forever.
Yes, forever and ever.
And nightmares.
And nightmares. That's funny you bring up, because like one of my favorite movies of all time is The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I love Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
But they always say Heath Ledger went insane from the Joker, which led to his demise, right? Is that an example of method acting? Is that an example of picking up on too much negativity?
Yeah,
you know?
I would think, but I think he had a lot of baggage before
Already?
Dark Knight. I don't think it was Dark Knight. I think it was just life. And he got to a point, like, I know a little bit about tremendous actor, started really young. Like, I think he was like pretty much groomed to be in this business when he was younger. So I don't think he had much of a childhood around this. And so all of that led to playing the Joker incredibly, and if you look at who's the Joker, a Joker who, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, who also is a method actor, but he's a little nuts.
He is a little nuts.
And an interesting performance, but it seems like he's kind of doing it for show, where Heath had more of a psychological, like, reverberation that was dark.
It was.
And it's
beautiful.
It takes, he's played some dark characters. Like, you do the Joker, but you also do Brokeback Mountain.
I
right?
forgot he's in that. Yeah.
Like, so I would think the psychological toil in Brokeback Mountain would be heavier than the Joker, because the Joker's just he's a figment of someone's imagination. He doesn't exist in the world. Someone who is loved with another person who can't tell them that in the world, that's deep. Right. That's one of, unlive yourself, unalive yourself stuff. The Joker, he's nuts, but there's not a lot of people out there that just want to destroy people because,
he's different. He is a character. The Joker is and that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good to think about.
I'm playing Claudius this summer in Hamlet, who is, and you mentioned when we talked, he's Scar. He's
the Lion King, based off Hamlet. So I haven't seen. I know now. I'm caught up.
But yes, so there's a lot of references to Shakespeare shows in the Lion King itself. There's a lot of like other shows in there too. There's Hamlet and there's Richard III and there's all these characters, but the one that's most linked to Lion King is Hamlet, because Hamlet's father is killed by his uncle, and so I'm playing Hamlet's uncle, which is Claudius, and I marry Hamlet's mother, but I have to kill. I don't do it in the show, but I talk about it. But I've killed this person in order to gain these superlatives in life. I'm the king now. I have the crown. I'm in charge of this country. I have the woman I always wanted. And then, so at the top of the show, I'm high on life.
Right.
This is and everything is working out. And then, little by little, every scene, it just tanks, and it gets darker and darker and darker. And the more he tries to keep things from unraveling, the more they unravel.
Because your empire is collapsing around you.
Which is a wonderful lesson to learn, right? When things are unraveling, and the more that you try to keep things from unraveling, the more they're probably going to unravel. It's almost like, and by the time at the end of the show, Hamlet kind of learns that, because Hamlet's world is unraveling too. And it's that great line at the end where he's like, if it be now, it won't come. If it comes, it's not going to be now. whatever happens, happens. But the readiness is all. You just have to be, you kind of have to be ready for anything and allow it to happen, which is a great Stoic philosophy.
Stoic philosophy.
And Hamlet learns that, but Claudius does not. And, chaos ensues.
And you played him before?
I've never played him before.
Oh, okay. So
I did Hamlet many years ago in school, as everybody's supposed to do, because it's, of the 100 great plays in the world to read, like Hamlet's probably top 5.
Okay.
It was that transformative. Nothing had been really written like that before. And you have to think about how, like when Shakespeare was writing this play, he had just lost one of his children. His name was Hamnet. His actual son's name was Hamnet, which is the movie out now called Hamnet, which is the history of kind of a story about when Shakespeare was writing Hamlet and loses his son Hamnet. So right after he lost his son, he started writing this play Hamlet, and so it's just infused with all his grief and his torture and his psychological place where he was, and and it came out on the stage. It came out in that play. It's incredible.
I'm excited to come see it.
Yeah.
Then.
Well, good.
Are you doing 3 shows at once?
I'm in 2. I mean, technically, I'm in 2 shows, but understudying the 3rd show. But most people are in all 3 shows.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're learning 2 characters and
2
a potential
characters.
3rd. You're putting effort into 3rd,
Yes.
right? Interesting.
Playing the enemy, the evil guy in one, the hero in another one, and a goofball nutcase in the 3rd one, 12th Night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got all kinds of
All
duality.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot going on.
Stuff, which is what is so fun about rep theater, because you get to explore all these roles, which you wouldn't be able to do, 1 or 2 of those in a year, but now you're doing 3
at the same time
in a row. Yeah.
What hero are you playing?
I'm playing Hector in Troilus and Cressida, which is the Greek tale of Odysseus and Agamemnon and Ajax and Achilles and Hector. It's the Battle of Troy is where it starts.
Okay.
Which again, another movie coming out.
The Odyssey.
The Odyssey. Yeah. So there will be.
The Odyssey takes place after what you're going through, though, right?
Yes. The Iliad and the Odyssey are kind of the stories of all those characters and all that place. I believe the Odyssey that we're talking about is the one after the Battle of Troy has ended. This picks up Troilus and Cressida. See, this is the brilliance of Shakespeare. If he named it the Odyssey, people would be like, okay.
Take on Homer.
He took these 2 minor characters, Troilus and Cressida, who are, I think that are real people, but they're minor characters in the world, and he makes them a love interest in this world. And then he explores all the other themes of power and war and all that stuff through the other characters that are so well known. So Achilles and Hector and Ajax, who are the major players in the Iliad and the Odyssey, they're minor characters in here. But he uses that history of everybody knows those characters to kind of explore other themes. So it's really interesting.
All right.
And that stuff you see like nobody was doing that before. Everybody would think, no, it's a play about Achilles and Hector. Let's make it Achilles and Hector, and like everybody will come buy tickets. But no, he said Troilus and Cressida, and they're like, who the fuck is Troilus and Cressida?
Right.
He's exploring all those things with those 2 characters, and then all the other characters around that are well known. Yes, so I play Hector in that one, who, as you know, famously is killed by Achilles in the actual story.
So you die there.
I die there.
That's one of your deaths this summer.
Yes, and that's going to be a gruesome one, so you have to come. I won't give anything away on that one. You have to come see that one. But again, it's interesting to play a Greek in a Shakespeare play because our history of theater comes from the Greeks down to Shakespeare and to where we are now. Like everything has come from those 2 places. The Renaissance of Shakespeare and the Greeks. And there are some other great times after Shakespeare where we've had really good theater, Moliere, and at the beginning of the 1900s, with modernism and Ibsen and those guys. So we've had really good periods of drama, but nothing Nothing like Shakespeare, and again, nothing like the Greeks. So it's really cool to be doing a Greek history, play with Shakespeare's words. This is really interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and it's good timing too, because the Odyssey comes out. So I'll watch your play, then I'll watch the Odyssey.
There we go.
Yeah.
See what happens after.
I want to read I haven't watched the trailer yet. I want to read the book and then go see the movie. I don't know how familiar you are with it.
It's dense to read. I don't think many people have actually read but you have to get a really good adaptation. So when we're talking about literature, when Homer wrote Iliad and Odyssey, nothing had been written like that before. Nothing. And the Bible was kind of being written at the same time. So you have these two transformative pieces of literature.
Yeah, completely.
The Bible and the Iliad and the Odyssey, all being kind of composed around the same time. And they really couldn't be more different in their themes.
Yeah.
What you get from the Iliad and Odyssey is characters who are kind of aware of themselves and aware of the things that they're doing, and they want to change, but also the gods have influence, and the gods are more human-like than anything else. That's why it's so interesting. I feel like I have a more connection to the Greek legends and the Greek myths, because I can learn from the gods more than I can when you look at the Bible. It's this unfallible, all-knowing, omnipotent, all-good being that never makes any mistakes. And you're like, what can I learn from you? But then you get in the Greeks, and they're bad.
Right. Yeah.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah.
The heroes are bad. The enemies are sometimes good. Like, it's so convoluted and mixed up, which I think is what represents life a little bit more. It's so confusing to be alive.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I just think I learn more from those. Like, I can learn from those people more, those characters more.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I had no idea they were at the same time.
Yeah, same time. We're at the same time. And again, as transformative, those ideas in there were transformative. And nothing has been written until Shakespeare, drama-wise. Nothing was written like the Iliad and Odyssey stories until Shakespeare.
Interesting.
And the Bible itself too, like that idea of redemption and that first time of like, so I feel like most religions was very insular, but I think what Christianity did was, no, this can include everybody. That idea was kind of original, and both of those ideas, I think, kind of took off. The idea of the Greeks, the mutability, the being able to change, become a better person by these stories. Plus, they were just epic adventures.
Yeah.
And then the Bible with like, no, you can have redemption through this one person. It doesn't matter what you do. All you have to do is ask for it. Like, those ideas are crucial in the development. So, and then Shakespeare kind of takes all of that stuff and makes it his own.
Did Homer create Achilles, or is Achilles a much older myth?
I think most of the stories he wrote down were oral myths passed down, just like the Bible. And he was the first one to kind of collect them. I'm sure he had artistic liberties.
Yeah.
So those stories were passed down by word of mouth.
Interesting.
And the Greek theater was somebody just memorizing these stories and orating them in front of hundreds, if not thousands, of people. And so, that's that Greek amphitheater. You see those shots of like how did anybody do anything there? So you had to be big, your voice had to be, like full. You had to use masks in order to, nobody was, having an intimate scene in Greek theater. It was all really big. And so you just spoke those stories orally, and people memorized them, and then they went somewhere else and told them. So that's how they were passed down until they were written down. So I think what makes Iliad and Odyssey so wonderful is that it was kind of the first time it was written down, and those stories could be passed around.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's good. When you have to play somebody at their absolute lowest, where do you go to find that?
Oh man, good question. Wait, absolute lowest, as in like
Claudius's empire is falling around him. He has nothing left.
Well, you you have the given circumstances of the play to help the audience. Like that's doing a huge part of the work, right? They're feeling the given circumstances of the play. So there's a little work you have to do in order to make it authentic for yourself, the feelings authentic. But I think, I would say a lot of, if not the majority of it, is the audience's understanding of what the story is, if we told the story well. I think the other part is finding the emotional truth for yourself through your own life experiences. I've had plenty of things go wrong in my life, and those things still with me. I lost my father a couple years ago. I have, a recent father. They're 3 years old now. You know, the challenges of that, all of that life experience is in there somewhere, and I think you have to trust that if you're playing the given circumstances of the world right, that emotional truth is going to be there. So at the lowest, I think you really have to draw on your personal experience as an actor, as just a human being, and then pull from that. You also have this wonderful group of people around you that you've experienced this stuff with, and you're looking into their eyes, and you've spent weeks working on these plays. They're fighting for their lives. They're doing the same thing. It's very, like, it doesn't take, if you can step outside yourself and your own kind of worries and your own kind of judgment about how you're acting, and just look into another human's eyes and listen to what they're saying, you're playing the given circumstances. I think the emotional truth can come out that way, and it's a much more healthy way than like, I've got to, bring to life my dead father every night so I can then bury him again and get in. That can be dangerous territory.
Yeah.
But I think if you can find the lowness through all the positivity, all the positive stuff around you, or all the experiences you've had in your body, then I think that's the most healthy way to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then a lot of times in plays, people are low, but then you see them, especially modern plays, you kind of see them come back to themselves or learn from it. There's not a lot of plays, I think, in modern context where everything is just done at the end. The whole world is like, and I think Shakespeare was commenting on a lot of stuff that way. So, but we are in a very dark time now. I guess kind of all times are dark.
Yeah, right.
When you look back, you're like,
they're all dark.
This is the darkest. Oh no, actually, just a few years ago that happened. Oh, and then before that. So it's pretty dark all the time.
Right.
But our brains are set up to attract the darkness, right? Airplane crashes, we're scared of them, hardly ever happen. But we're scared of them because it doesn't happen very often and it's dark. Car crashes happen every minute.
Yeah.
We don't care about them because it's so common. So I think that's a lesson you learn from history too. It's like, oh, the darkness is there, but our brains are designed to want to hold on to that because that's how we learn. Don't do that. Don't eat those berries because Uncle Phil died when he ate those berries.
Right.
And I'm going to remember that forever.
Yeah.
But all the good, positive stuff, and there's so much good, positive connectivity. People are doing such great things in the environment, community, like people are stepping up and helping neighbors. Cedar City's a wonderful town for that. You just don't see it because it's not
publicized.
It's not publicized.
Only the negatives are.
Yes, only the negatives.
Negativity bias.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Which is
Absolutely.
horrible.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of positives in the world.
Plenty.
But all we think about is negatives most of the time.
Most of the time.
The brain is wired that way.
Yes,
and it's annoying, but
it is.
we just got to live with it and
And
seek
you
the
have
positive
to.
anyway.
And again, another reason to tell these stories is, most of the time it doesn't end in depravity and the world is, dead. Like a lot of Shakespeare shows, not a lot, but a few. There's always a little hope at the end of the Shakespeare shows too. So even at the end of Hamlet, the worlds have fallen apart, but the survivors, there are a few.
There are a few.
Say, I'm going to tell your story, and people are going to learn from it, and so even that is hope.
Okay. Hope.
Hope.
It's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
It is.
Very important.
It is very important. So now let's talk about philosophy.
Okay.
What were some of the, I know like Stoicism, Rome, right?
Yes.
What are some of the Greek philosophies?
Oh,
Greek. I need to do more research, but.
Oh, look at a little hummingbird came to your.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey, is this a flower?
There you go.
Hope.
Hope. That is hope.
He was hoping that was a flower.
It was.
And it was destroyed. Sorry.
It was destroyed.
Sorry, hummingbird.
Sorry, hummingbird. That's too bad.
The Greek philosophers, well, Socrates, Aristotle, those guys.
Okay. I know those names.
They started, there's been a philosophy all over the world. I think because we're in America and the Western world is, the center of our world. Mm-hmm. Those thoughts that were coming out of, Aristotle, Socrates, they weren't the first people to have these thoughts, mm-hmm. but they were the first people to kind of come together and talk about them and put them in writing so people could, again, it's whoever gets the idea and puts it down on paper first, right? We're seeing that with the Bible. We're seeing that with the Iliad and the Odyssey, Shakespeare. These thoughts weren't original, but they were the first ones to get together and talk about them and put them down on paper and to want to pass it on to other for longevity. So I think that's the crucial thing about the Greeks. But the main thing that took us from Dark Ages into modern philosophy is those philosophers said, wait a minute, I don't think it's the gods that are kind of controlling everything. I think it's something in here. We have more control over our own thoughts. And what is beauty? Let's ask that question. What is science? Let's write this down. Mm-hmm. They were taking control of what before the narrative was, you have no control. It's the gods. It's, the world is, you have no really central control of your own life. But I think they were like, oh, wait a minute. I think I do. Yeah. I mean, that's Descartes, which is not a
Rene?
Rene, yes.
Okay, Rene.
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
He's just extending them from the Greeks, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. I have thoughts. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're coming from something that's in me other than some other outward thing. And so I think that's what started with Plato and Socrates, and there's a whole slew of other ones too that all had their own kind of twist on things. So that's the main idea from the Greeks that you should take away. Like, oh, it's not about uncontrollable forces of nature.
It's about how we react.
I can have thoughts and figure out what it means to me to have beauty. And I think that's why everybody should read philosophy, in the sense that it's going to help you develop your own personal philosophy, mm-hmm. which is when you go out into the world, things happen to you and you're like, oh, because of this personal philosophy I developed, I know I can deal with this. I can learn from this and stick it here, or I won't let that destroy me, because I know that because of this philosopher, you can only control what is, only worry about the things you can control, which is very Stoic.
Right.
That's the Stoics.
That is Stoic. Right?
Yes. So yes, I think you learn, later in life I became more of a Stoic guy, because as you live, you're like, there are outward forces controlling, influencing things, and you can't really do much to influence that. But what you can influence is how you react to those things. And that is a huge life lesson to learn, which I think I learned way too late.
Okay.
Because before, I grew up in Kentucky, a Southern Baptist. When I lost religion, and it was a simple thing when I lost religion, I took a religious class in college, and I remember the teacher going, she was a doctorate in divinity from Vanderbilt. She was a Catholic nun. She was, very much in the faith. She's like, we're going to study Christianity from a objective point of view, not subjective. For example, we celebrate Christ's birthday on December 25th, but we actually don't know when he was born.
Right.
Being in a Southern Baptist church, no one ever said that to me. I was like, what do you mean we don't know when Christ? It's Christmas, and then you go research a little bit, and you're like, oh, we don't know when Christ was born.
Yeah.
And if he was born, like it's probably sometime in spring or something like that, you know. So, and then you're like, wait a minute, what else has kind of been lied about? Not really lied about, but just not really told the truth.
Yeah.
And so from that point, I was kind of angry about it all. And so I dove into existentialism and those guys.
Life has no meaning.
There's no meaning. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, you know. And so that was probably for a few years. But then somehow magically I found Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman.
Uncle Walt, who...
Doesn't he get Walter White caught in
What's
Breaking
that?
Bad?
What's
Ever seen
that?
Breaking Bad?
I have.
I think Walt Whitman's the guy that gets Walter White caught.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
he wrote
Is
the
his
book
name?
on the toilet or something.
Oh, it might have been, yeah.
Off topic.
Because I don't know if I've seen all those. But The Leaves of Grass, Walt Whitman, another transformative book in poetry. Like Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman were kind of both around the same time. They were doing things with poetry that had never really been done before. Anyway, I found Walt Whitman, and he was such a exuberant, positive, everything is part of me and I'm a part of everything. And like, you know, the nature is perfect. It's like a machine and everything is just so beautiful and we all work together and it's wonderful. That kind of put me, I think, toward the path of being more positive and finding more light and everything more than
Dark.
The darkness.
Yeah.
So I did find Walt Whitman at a very crucial time.
Okay.
So, and that's probably, because I said, probably my main philosophy now that I read and attach myself to a Stoic philosophy, but I would think many people wouldn't think this is a philosophy, but poetry is a philosophy. Because what the poets do, and I mean the modern, old poets too, but what the modern poets have kind of do is they kind of take these everyday moments that are, maybe you wouldn't even notice them in most circumstances, but they write them in a way that is so beautiful and so transformative that you get in 14 lines, you're like, oh, damn. Like that hummingbird coming in, flying down. Like,
yeah.
Poets take those moments and turn them into something that is kind of a life lesson. And, you know, there are a handful of poems where I've read, where I remember exactly where I was at. I remember the smells because those lines were so incredible. I'm thinking of specifically, there's a poem by, I think his name is Copeland. Anyway, the poem is called A Color of the Sky. And right in the middle, there's these 3 lines which become my philosophy. What I thought was an end turned out to be a middle. What I thought was a brick wall turned out to be a tunnel. What I thought was injustice turned out to be a color of the sky. I mean, I read those lines and I just wept, right? Because nothing really ends. It's just the beginning of something else. How many times have we bumped our head against, like, oh my God, I'm never going to get out of this, or my life is, you know, I've lost the girl, the boy, or you know, my parents have separated. I didn't get into the school I wanted. Nobody likes me. That's just the beginning of something else, and it's so beautiful. Those philosophies are in poetry. I think more than anything else, because it's so short, they're accessible, and you can read it in 1 minute and then, oh my God, and learn the lesson. Versus if you read a novel, it's great. Those lessons are in there too. Yeah. It's just, it takes days, if not months, if not weeks,
to learn those
years to read these novels because our time today is so stretched. But with a poem, you can read a poem a day and learn the lessons and be done and like have that in you. So
who wrote that poem you just?
Oh, that is Tony Hoagland.
Tony Hoagland.
Tony Hoagland.
Okay.
Pulled that out of my.
There you go.
Tony Hoagland. And the poem itself is about a relationship that kind of ended, and he's having a lot of existential thoughts about it. But in the middle, there's that, And at the end, there's this beautiful metaphor about this dogwood tree overflowing with blossom foam, like a wedding, like a bride ripping off her dress. Like it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So read this poem.
Okay.
Tony Hoagland, A Color of the Sky.
I want to dive a little bit into your Stoic philosophy.
Yes. Okay.
Everyone, like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, there's different ideas.
Yes.
What do you identify as your Stoic philosophy? What would you?
I would say mostly would be Marcus Aurelius.
Great.
I think most people. Seneca, there's some really great stuff. I don't, but I think they're all kicking the same bucket.
Yeah.
I think essentially. What I love about Marcus Aurelius is the fact that he was the top of the pyramid. He was an emperor, but yet he still had these human thoughts of, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm confused, what is happening, I can't control these things. And I love it too that he wrote these things down, and that was supposed to be never seen by anybody.
It was just his journal.
It was just his personal journal. Like, I don't know the history of how it got. I'm sure it was after his death, somebody was like, I think I can make some money off this.
Right. Yeah,
but
yeah.
But so I would say the fact that you can be the top of the world and still have these thoughts. And
that everyone else does. How to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Don't lay underneath the covers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to get up.
Get up.
I wasn't made to sleep in this bed.
Yeah.
I was made to get up and do
Right.
stuff. We have to learn that. Yeah, that's such a great philosophy. So yeah, I think that's probably my especially when you have a family and it's like, I didn't sleep well last night. I'm feeling bad about myself, but I have these other people that need me, and so I have to get up and I have to do these things. And it may not be 100%, but you have to do these things. And knowing that other people have done that and will continue to do that and have done that for every, like Marcus, all the way back
in time, 3,000 years ago.
This is not something we're going to solve.
Right.
Everybody's dealing with this. So you just have to, like, I feel good company. And I'm like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. Yeah. So I think that's.
I like it.
Yeah.
Human. Like, especially, like you're saying, the emperor of Rome.
Yeah.
Doing all these battles.
Yeah.
Governing the biggest empire in the world.
Going, what is my life?
Yeah. Still.
What am I doing?
Still asking questions. I love it. I do.
Yeah. I can't control. And that's another big one. I can't control what's going around me. I think, not to get political, but in this country, I feel like the empathy and the looking out for other people is being like shredded
daily
by what is happening politically in this country at the highest ups. I can't control that. It's probably going to change.
Hopefully.
It will change.
Always does.
It may not be good change, who knows what happens, but what we can do, I can control how I interact with people here on the street, at the store.
How you leave an impact locally.
Yeah. So, and that ultimately I do that so the world doesn't change me. I don't want to change from this thought of the world is a positive, beautiful place. And if I let those things change who I am, that's not only is the world going to crumble, like I'm going to crumble, I'm going to attach myself to all this negativity, but the negativity can come and I can feel it and I should feel it and be like, what is happening? But then you got to have to figure out where it lands in your personal philosophy, which is why everybody needs a personal philosophy of some kind. That way you know what to do with what the world is happening to you. And then
how you react.
And then react, or just act in some way.
Or act, yeah.
Or an act of not doing anything is also an act.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a philosophy where to bounce that around, I think it's very hard to figure out what to do, especially now because maybe at one time you may not have personal philosophy, but our families were sitting around talking, or your friend groups were sitting around talking, and that's still happening now. But I think it's
way less.
it's just different. We're talking online more. We're talking, I see groups of friends out here all the time on campus that are talking to one another, but I don't know if, I'm sure it's the same version of, when I was a teenager, my parents were like, the teenagers today, their parents did it to them, like ad nauseum.
Right.
So we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
We are figuring it out.
Right.
And it's because of these philosophies that Walt Whitman will find you. Somebody else's Walt Whitman will find them. Mm-hmm. You'll find Marcus Aurelius when you need it. Like these things are out there to find, and I think
when you need them.
I think the people find things when they need them. I think, which is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah,
very beautiful. Yeah, actually.
So
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. He's good. He's a great Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism. It's beautiful.
And when did you start getting into them? Yeah.
After breakup. As it goes.
Yeah.
And then started reading meditations, and it helped.
Oh my God, it does.
It helped frame my thinking of the world and how to react to uncontrollable circumstances.
Love it.
And then dealing with emotions. And that's why Stoicism gets such a bad rap sometimes. Very stoic. You're very in control of your emotions.
But it's not about not having them. So I think people, as anything, you can take a philosophy and take it down the wrong path if you don't understand it fully. And I don't think the Stoics are saying don't feel your feelings. Feel them. I mean, even Buddhism is like, you're going to have feelings. Don't not feel them.
Yeah, that's even
Just
worse.
know that it's a storm cloud. The storm's going to come in. It's going to rain on you. Maybe some lightning bolts, but then it's going to move on.
It's going to move on.
And
it'll be okay. And another storm cloud comes
another
in.
Storm, yeah.
You just got to keep with the process.
So I think that's what the Stoics are saying. Feel what you feel, but know the thing that's going to help you out of that storm cloud is to know, like, oh, this is one of those things I can't control. And it might be 1,000 times of learning that. There's this great image I learned in grad school about the spiral staircase. And life is kind of like a spiral staircase. You keep learning you keep doing the same things. You'll date the wrong person again, and you'll get your heart broken. It's not a circle. It's a spiral staircase. You are going around in a circle, but the last time you learned something was here. But now you're up here. You're in the same spot, but all those steps, you are now a different person just by living that many days. And the next time you come around to it, you're going to be even further. Right. And I
love that's a good.
It's it. Nothing is circular. You have learned something by the next. Now you might do the same mistake.
Yeah.
But it's a little different. It's a little different. It's never stepping in the same. You never step in the same river twice. That's a Greek philosophy.
Okay.
That came from I can't remember that cat's name, but he was the first person to say you can never step in the same river twice. Everything is different. So that's another.
That's good.
Spiral staircase.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna start using that.
That's spiral staircase. And then you watch these videos of what the actual planets in the universe are doing.
Yeah.
We're going in a circle.
Right.
But we're also traveling through space like this.
Everywhere.
We're going this direction in circles, but it's a spiral.
It's a spiral.
It's unbelievable.
Okay.
You're like, oh, mind blown. Spiral staircase. We're never in the same place at the same place. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Spiral staircase.
The spiral staircase. That's a lesson for today.
There you go.
Spiral staircase.
That's right.
That's good. And like also with Stoicism, I think it's good because like on emotional control. Right? Yeah. It's like you have these emotions. Marcus Aurelius feels these emotions when he writes in his journal, right? But then he goes and acts stoic in front of Rome as the emperor and acts as he needs to, right?
Absolutely.
Not hides it, but
yes,
he's dealing with other problems.
Yes.
And he goes back in, deals with his emotions.
Deal with the emotions in the private. I don't think it's very good to deal with your emotions out in public.
No.
And a lot of people want to see that.
Yeah.
I think it's okay if you need to show emotion in public and talk to somebody about it, or we should be less. I think as a society, Westerners can be very put off by emotions in public. I do think we need to be a little bit more kind about that. But unless you're by yourself dealing with your emotions with some of these philosophers who have done it, it's going to be dark. You need these other people.
You do need other people.
If you don't have other people to help you talk about it in your house, you're going to need these other people that you can read and attach yourself to, or it can be very dark.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a much better lesson.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, what I mean by that is like the stoic.
Yes.
He's very stoic as a leader.
Yes.
But then
absolutely.
still feels
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Because the people need that. They need to feel like things are under control. And yeah, I think that's, Stoicism can be taken as like, don't feel your feelings, but I think that's I think that's not what they're asking us to do.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I think that's a very male centered like take on everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite character you played so far?
Oh, favorite character I've played. In all of the characters I've played, wow. I would say Cyrano de Bergerac. Do you know anything about
Nope.
Cyrano? Okay. There's it's a well-known play. It's old, French, by Edmond Rostand.
Ooh.
And it's one of the great characters ever written. Now, the thing with Cyrano is he is a swordsman. He is like a poet. He's he's everything anybody could ever want to be, but he has a very large nose, like grotesquely long.
Yeah.
And because of that one thing, he thinks nobody in the world can love him. Just that one thing. So
that's powerful.
Powerful. And he falls in love with someone in the play, and he doesn't feel like he can tell her, because how could she love somebody as grotesque as I am? Even though he's smart and he kills everybody with the sword, like he's everything anybody could ever want. What a lesson to learn there. Right?
That's beautiful.
So that was probably my favorite character.
And what play is that?
Played. It's called Cyrano de Bergerac.
And he's the main character.
He's the main character.
All right.
And it's rhyming couplets. So every 2 lines rhyme the entire play. So it's basically a big poem of rhyming couplets. So, and you're sword fighting and you're swashbuckling and you're falling in love and you go to battle, and it's all in this play, all while trying not to seem like you're rhyming. Because you can't go da 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 all through. People are just gonna be like, oh, this rhyme. So you have to make this language your own, and so the feat of doing that is very very difficult.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite character I've ever played.
That's beautiful.
Another one I would say is Henry IV Part 1, which is a Shakespeare show. I played Hotspur.
Okay. We talked about that one.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that one. I think Henry IV Part 1 and Part 2 are the... Hi. Henry IV Part 1 and Part 2, I think, are the 2 best Shakespeare shows ever written, for me. And those are history plays. And histories aren't done very often because I think people get confused. Oh, it's a history and he's telling history. I don't really know much about the English history. But the histories have everything. They have tragedy, they have comedy, they have romance, they have sword fights. It's everything. And so Henry IV Part 1, he created this character, Hotspur, to counteract the other character that he created, and that was Prince Hal. And these are characters who were alive, but they're just bigger on the stage than... Prince Hal ends up being Henry V, which is historically, one of the great kings of England.
Yeah.
But Prince Hal's origin is he's kind of a punk. He goes around pulling pranks on people, steals people's money, and he's the son of the king, hanging out with the lowlifes.
Right.
He's Prince Hal. He does really bad stuff, but eventually he becomes, in 3 plays, the leader of the country who defeats the opposing army in Henry V. Incredible journey. But in Henry IV Part 1, there's this foil to Prince Hal, whose name is Hotspur, who is just a hot-blooded, hot-minded, speaks everything that comes to his, he's just a spur.
Yeah.
Right?
Hotspur. Right.
Hotspur.
Hotspur.
That's his character.
Yeah.
Everything sets him off, but he's a brilliant swordsman and a brilliant on the battlefield, and so he's revered by everybody.
Okay.
But because that character is so fun to play because he just speaks what he what he feels.
Yeah.
But I was also doing that in DC with, there's another great character in that play called Falstaff,
Okay.
who is,
Does he fall on staffs, or is that?
well,
not-
Falstaff means,
Okay.
yeah, that's a little inside sexual joke.
Okay.
He's a big,
I
plump,
see.
joyous rabble-rouser. He drinks all the time. He's a knight, but he's also just a bad human being.
Yeah.
And now he's Prince Hal's like favorite buddy because
Okay.
Falstaff is always up for anything.
Right.
If he can get laid, get money, get drunk, he's
there.
gonna do
Yeah,
it.
he's gonna
Right?
do
He's
it.
gonna do it. And another character that was never written before Shakespeare, and one of the iconic characters, I would say, like I would put him up there with like Agamemnon, Jesus Christ.
Oh wow. He's
Falstaff.
Yeah,
Like,
Falstaff.
he is that memorable of a
Okay.
character. And he's only in 3 plays, Henry IV Part 1 and Part 2. And then he was so popular in Shakespeare's time, everybody was like, you got to write just a play with Falstaff.
Yeah.
And so he wrote Merry Wives of Windsor, which is, it's an okay play, but Falstaff is kind of the central character in that one.
I see.
But yeah, so you've got these iconic characters that have never been written before, all in the same play. Like, and then at the end of Part 1, going into Part 2, Hal kills Hotspur. Never anybody who thought that would happen.
Yeah. No.
And never in literature were people like, you know what? I'm going to kill off my favorite character.
Yeah.
They do that all the time now.
yeah.
But nope, not before.
That was the first
That
time.
was kind of an original thing. Again, this is why we still study Shakespeare.
Right.
These things. Not necessarily for all, the plays themselves can be, they're racist, they're sexist, they're misogynist, they're all the things that all the world was
Yeah. At the time.
at the time.
Yeah.
But you still get some of these characters that are like saying, should we be as racist as we should be? Should we be you got those things in there too.
Questions are being asked.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
questions are being asked,
Yeah.
and then you're creating also these characters who are aware of themselves and are trying to change. So the mutability of a character is something that Shakespeare is very very aware of. So I played Hotspur, but my Falstaff was Stacy Keach. And Stacy Keach is a well-known stage and film actor. He's still living today, thankfully, but he's had a lot of health problems. But so it's kind of the first show I worked with a big name star, so that was kind of cool. At a really great theater with a really great director who is well known in the theatrical world. So I think that whole experience made me go, oh, that's a memorable character
Right.
and part.
Yeah.
And play to be
Yeah.
a
No.
part of.
Those are some unique individuals.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Henry IV Part 1 and Part 2.
Okay.
Got to see those.
Which he actually existed. Henry IV.
Yes. Henry IV was a real king.
Richard III was also.
Richard III was a real king. Like Shakespeare expands on them and makes them bigger than they actually were. And his history, the history plays are kind of taken from the Holinshed histories that were kind of written about the time. So Shakespeare steals a lot of stuff. There was no, what's the?
Originality.
Yes. Oh no.
Not
When you take, it is originality, but when you steal somebody else's
Inspiration.
plagiarism.
Plagiarism.
Yeah,
In
plagiarism,
writing,
right?
yeah, plagiarism.
Yeah. You can't take somebody else's work. And,
No.
Yeah.
Plagiarism.
But back in the day, you could. You could just take stuff and kind of change it. So
Okay.
So a lot of his histories were taken directly from histories, but then he would change stuff and make it more theatrical,
More
which is
dramatic.
what you do when you tell a story.
Interesting.
So yes, all those people existed. They were real people, but he was just exploring them through his themes of what was happening in the world, as well as what he wanted to, the themes he wanted to explore.
I see.
Yeah. So Henry IV was a guy named Bolingbroke who usurped Richard II, and then he became Henry IV, and then Henry IV died, and
see.
Prince Hal is his progeny, so he gets Henry V, and so you have all the kings that Shakespeare wrote about. Yeah.
You like Game of Thrones?
Love Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
My reference to Hotspur being killed at the end of Act 1 is like Sean Bean being killed at the end of season 1.
Ned Stark.
Ed Stark, yeah. Spoiler if you haven't
Spoiler
seen it.
alert. It's been years. Hopefully they know that.
Hopefully
one
you
by
know
now.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, who would have thought? You don't kill your favorite character off at the end of
Especially the main
it's
character,
director
right?
Shakespeare. He's the main character. So Hotspur was too, one of the main characters.
Interesting.
So it's all this stuff is from Shakespeare. All of it.
And he's kind of he was the first to do it, right? Like, in a way,
In a way.
like his name's the biggest from that time, I
Yeah.
feel like. Everyone
And
knows Shakespeare.
Everybody knows Shakespeare. And he was popular during his day, but not as popular as he is
Really?
now. He was mostly known as a poet. Like his poems that he wrote were more popular than any of his plays at that time. Another great thing happened. People like saw that the plays were pretty good, so they collected them and they kept them safe. Like they put them in these things called quartos and folios, and other playwrights that were writing at the same time, nobody really did that. So a lot of the plays, we don't have a lot of the plays that are from that time because they weren't preserved like Shakespeare's was. Because there were some great writers during that time. Christopher Marlowe, who probably could have been, if he died in a bar fight.
All right.
Great playwright,
In
got
a
in a bar
tavern?
fight in a tavern.
Yeah.
It was rumored that he may have been a spy for the king or the queen court at that time, and so maybe there was a little espionage. But he had written 4 or 5 wildly popular plays when Shakespeare was writing plays, but Marlowe was considered the apex. Like nobody was better than Marlowe.
Wow. And I never heard his name before.
Yeah, because he was killed in a bar fight.
I see.
And then Shakespeare was writing plays at that time, but nothing until after Marlowe. The 5 or 6 plays after Marlowe died, like, blew up.
Interesting.
Like, and dwarfed everything that, but nobody knew like Shakespeare that's capable of that. And that's one of the great like mysteries of like how did Shakespeare, who was kind of writing but not really showing a lot of talent, all of a sudden just exploded with Hamlet, King Lear, As You Like It with Rosalind, the Macbeth play, like just kind of seemingly out of nowhere.
So many.
But if Marlowe had not died and we saved his plays, we could be talking about Marlowe as
Marlowe
well.
Theater versus the...
That's right, the Shakespeare Theater.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
All right. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
well, thank
You
you.
too.
It was a good time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Loved it.